Hey guys, it's Greg Jones with Engine Builder, and today we are at Piston Racing in Danville, Indiana. I'm joined by owner Luke Wilson. This right here is a USAC Midget Honda engine, and it's our engine of the week.
Engine Builder's Engine of the Week is sponsored by Pen Grade 1, L-Ring DOS Original, and NPW.
Thanks so much for giving us a little time here to be here in the shop and here in the dyno room, and we got a pretty cool, unique Midget Honda engine here. We'd love to know a little more details about it. So let us know kind of how this project came to be, and then we'll dive into details.
Yeah, it's a very personal project. It's not something we really dove into with both feet as something to sell, but it's more of, I want to do this. I grew up watching midget racing. I still go to the local tracks and like to spectate. And I have a great deal of respect for the engine builders that are doing it with other platforms. And so it's a little unique in that a dual overhead cam setup has some restrictions. We're limited to a smaller displacement. Those are all aftermarket block. They're very specific race engine designs.
Yeah.
Where this is out of Honda CR-V.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds funny that we have those restrictions, being that it's out of a production car, but these things do produce some power. So we're limited to 154 cubic inches.
Okay. And
where those, designed from scratch engines have a very small stroke and a big bore, Honda is the opposite. We have a big stroke engine and a small bore arrangement, which presents us some challenges, for all the technical. The engines produce massive power. They really drive nice. So my interest goes further. We have a midget that we're building just for fun to go tinker around with. We're not going to go run national races, but you never know. Maybe we build some pretty nice race cars, so it may be good enough to put a hot shoe in the seat someday. Or something. But it's an engine package that I'm really personally invested into. I love it. You can see that they're mechanically injected by rules. We have a water pump. Water flows really important to these things, so we have a 40-gallon water pump.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of pumps driven off one belt, and they're not all shown here, but on the end of this is our oil setup, and then there's a power steering pump and a fuel pump that also runs off of this.
Okay.
So inside, it's a 99 millimeter stroke, stock crank from the Honda CR-V, 90 millimeter bore, so we put a big ductile iron sleeve in there. Get this thing to seal up, and it's not a lot of room between the cylinders because we try to squeeze as much of air as we can. We have a very specific midget cylinder head because these guys are they're direct drive, so when they're doing one laps, they come off of yellow and come into green. They need to get 2,500 RPM. Well, this is a 9,600 RPM engine. So having a big broad power line like that is a challenge. We're not allowed VTEC and VTC and all the things that make Dom broad. We don't have that. And without modern fuel injection, we have a constant flow fuel system. So it gets pretty complex, so we've had to work around the cylinder head and the camshaft to get that power in to be able to pull a 2,500 RPM off idle and pull. And these things are and they pull a lot of gear. People would be shocked. I'm sure. We've had excellent feedback. I've got a couple teams I'm working with just they're allowing us a little bit of freedom, not only with their wallets, but with decisions that are making. We're working through some details, and I think we're going to break the mold a little bit of a couple ideas, and hopefully it gets some traction, and we can just get through it. There's always happens.
Well, hopefully not. Well, Luke, you mentioned you've got a passion for this. You're building this engine specifically. Tell us a little bit about some of the details of the components inside and who you guys are working with, some of the parts.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has a wide scope piston specifically designed for this engine for the abuse. We don't have some of the super fast ECU controls we've got to be able to take a little bit of detonation. We've got to be able to take a little bit of time walking around because we're just not on that and stuff.
Yeah.
So you beef everything up. Like you want to build a beautiful, lightweight, immaculate engine, but we just got to build these things tough. So we've got big pin boss, big pin, DLC pin, Wiseco design piston. We've got a science rod, 300 in. It's a pretty beefy rod. It's not like one of our road race engines is going to have a rod that's 100 grain wider than this one.
Yeah.
And that's just because of the fuel control and time control.
Yeah.
So we got to really beef it up, but it's a high compression, 15 to 1.
Okay.
Cylinder head is a compromise between, pore size and airspeed, trying to get local or methanol. So they make a lot of power. Like this will exceed 400 horsepower.
Okay. Yeah.
They were allowed, or mandated on RPM, allowed 9,600. Okay. And we're actually turning a little short of that. We're turning 93, and it'll pull real tall here. Like the engine's very, very powerful and drives very smooth. We've had excellent feedback from everybody who's driven it. Now we just got to figure out the rest of the pieces.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on, is getting the most longevity we can by beefing those components up. Uses all the air hardware 625 material. We are still running the steel valve. We're not running the titanium valve. We have good control of the valve, so we don't have a problem with valve control. So that helps us eliminate some cost.
Yeah.
So total engine package, ignition, fuel, everything. This is a $40,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Whereas I think some of the competitive offerings are getting $50,000, $65,000, $70,000.
Yeah.
It's also very, very lightweight. This
Yeah.
weighs a lot less than people put these in their car and they're like, where are we going to put it?
Yeah.
225 pounds fully dressed.
Wow.
Fully dressed.
Yeah.
Ready to go. So people will lean these things over 45 degrees, and the intake's pointing at the ground. It's pretty wild looking.
Yeah.
It's a neat little package for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we were talking earlier about the water pump out front. You got the dry sump oil system. And the block itself, want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's a Honda CRV engine block. We do add an oiler to it. There are Honda blocks that have oiler in them, but we'll add the oiler. Keep that thing cool.
Yeah.
Keep the pin on. It is a dry sump, so we pull some vacuum, but we're not too concerned about that. Like making horsepower that much. Horsepower is not the issue, but it's just longevity, drivability. Does the racer like it? On the foot pedal.
Yeah.
So that's what the key components are right now.
Very cool.
Yeah, and we're getting very specific on how label and how we're hunting it, how straight the boards are. Like all that stuff matters. I mean, you can build an engine without. You can throw stuff together and have it. Some of the best engines that people have won races with have been stuff that got tossed together in the bath. Roll up and never hurts, right?
Yeah.
But we're all about consistency and trying to work those fine details. So we have a very specific rig package. We have some coatings that we use on that. Yeah. We're not big on coatings, but there are a few coatings that are definitely detrimental. We have a piston coating that is that we've settled on. I want DLC if I can do everything with DLC.
Yeah.
It has places where it doesn't work. So, it is a roller rocker. We're not allowed to use VTEC contraptions. So it's a single cam, normal actuation.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. It's just to have a good, reliable package, but also send somebody out there with something that they're moving from.
Yeah.
And all the pieces have to be there. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
The drivers got to know the traffic, and the cars are not sitting. And it's a good challenge for us. And like I said, I have a ton of respect for the people that are in that, and I want them to.
Yeah.
And we'll build everything. So
Yeah.
that's what drives us.
Awesome. Well, no, it's a gorgeous engine, and sounds like it's a very competitive, engine that the drivers, like you said, drivers enjoy putting in their car. So,
Yeah.
Luke, we appreciate you telling us about it. And guys, we appreciate you watching this episode of Engine of the Week. Make sure you're checking out Luke Wilson and Piston Racing, everything that they got going on. And as always, make sure you're checking out enginebuildermag.com for more engine content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.